Dungeon Damsels, everyone.
Whoa!
We're here. Hello.
Hi.
Alright, let's go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Tiffany, the DM for this homebrew 5e D&D campaign. Let's go over to who's ready?
Got it.
Okay, Michael.
I'll go. Hi, everybody. I'm Michael. You can find me at RoboSardi on Twitter and RoboSardi pretty much everywhere else. I'm an artist and I like to draw things. But besides that, I like playing with these fine folk.
Oh.
And I'm excited to play tonight. And I'll be playing as Ellie, our Eladrin druid. Who's really excited about being in the Feywild.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
My people.
It's about her past. Also, I play in another game called The Mists of Elixir. I play Carrigan Saintwind. It's run by Zeal Zaddy. If you want to watch another campaign.
Check them out, they're so good.
Yeah, we also got great players. Let's go to Kristen.
Hi, I'm Kristen. You can find me on Twitter at ChrisLE with 2 I's at the end, because whatever. I play Kayanthi. She is half druid, half cleric, all trying her best. And I like to do a lot of things.
Druid?
Monk,
Oh
cleric.
no
It's
druid.
okay.
Oh no. You can
I don't
play-
know. I don't know if they allow triple classing in D&D.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that sounds terrible. Let's do it.
Make an absolutely broken character, just Tiffany at night. Just gotta make sure I
She's got too many powers that they're never going to use. Like when I didn't use deflect missiles when I was shot with an arrow.
But you used it on the
I always
squirrel,
forget.
so it's
I
fine.
always forget.
yeah, you just deflected Aravan, but
We did not. That was just a daydream that we all collectively
It
had.
was a call from the void that we did not answer. It rang like a spam call. We just let it keep ringing.
Mhm.
she's a monk cleric.
Monk cleric having
Monk
a good
cleric.
time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes.
She's a
so-
monkey, that's why she's a druid.
Oh,
There
oh,
you go.
Oh.
Serena.
Hello, my name is Serena. You can find me on Twitter at Pixiepocalypse, like a Pixie Apocalypse. I like doing D&D art, and I play Kiara, who is our Drow Eldritch Knight. Although eventually I might decide to become a druid too. Who knows?
All druids, all elves, all the
druids.
time.
Druid.
No,
Man.
Eventually, through assimilation or otherwise.
Luna stops being a druid, and then everyone else starts being a druid. It's just like it just seemed cool.
I was a druid before it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
extra,
absolutely,
Extra
yeah.
Luna.
Before it was cool, absolutely.
She's going through
Exactly.
a particular paradigm shift. She happens to be one of the 2 resident moms on the team. Kayanthi.
No, I'm the eldest sibling.
The eldest sibling,
Yeah.
and then Kayanthi.
I thought it was the father.
You're like mom, dad, mom. We kind of switch out whenever the other one's not around. Where's your
Okay.
father?
Yeah. Oh no, that's me today.
It's sort of like tag out.
Tag out. Yeah, I like it.
I'm going to a bathhouse. Tag out.
And McKenna.
Yeah, I'm Mckenna. You can find me on planet Earth on a good day. Otherwise, I play Luna, and I'm the half-elf paladin of the group. I used to be a druid, but then I went through a hard time, and I'm starting to go through less of a hard time right now, with a little help from my friends.
Aww.
The
So greatest tender.
ship that ever sailed.
Friendship.
Okay, so last time, the damsels reunited once again after being separated. Kayanthi was captured by her evil brother, Thranien.
Again. Well, not again, really.
And then Arturo, a Fey ally to the party, saw this and thought it was best to cross Kayanthi, Erevan, Thranien, and Samira to the Feywild so that Kayanthi and Erevan could escape. Back in
As he
Burkus, as one does, yes. Luna, Kiara, and Elendriel, Ellie reconvened and set out to follow Kayanthi into the Feywilds with the help of Boink. He led them to a fairy circle where the 3 danced, and their dancing impressed the local fairies, and they were crossed over. Then, while in the Feywilds, Kayanthi met an ally, Nualia, she claims to be Erevan's elder sister, And Erevan reacted in such a way to believe that. With her help, Kaonthi and Erevan flee into the Feywilds and escape Threnian. And after a harrowing chase sequence, Kaonthi and her party were able to shake them off. The team reunites completely when Kaonthi spots a giant green Ellie spider on a tree, and they go to Arturo's house to hunker down and figure out their next plan of action. I'm gonna skip this. I don't know if you can hear the music at all, but okay. Arturo's house is pleasant. It has a charming exterior made of wood and a playful array of plants that vine across the roof and bloom into colorful flowers. Inside the walls are painted in splashes of colors that remind you of the wild blooms of summer. Glass bottles of all shapes and sizes line the walls, and an assortment of shining stones glitter in the Feywild sun. The shelves are made of wood and have an assorted nut bowl, a bowl of mallow fruit, a bundle of mushrooms separated by type. The floor is covered in the rug with a woven southern style, and there's a kitchen with a table, a small round table. There's cookware, but it appears to be ceramic. Plants also flourish inside in happily placed pots. He has a small bookshelf with a few books in Sylvan, Elfish, and a small number of name. So, does anyone know Orcish?
I know Sylvan.
Nope.
Okay, then you don't.
Don't know.
You guys probably, some of you who are more educated, like Luna, might recognize that it's Orcish, but I don't get it.
Like, recognize the script. Be like,
Yeah, you recognize the script, kind of like you're like that's Chinese. I don't know what it says.
You can
but-
tell the difference between Chinese and Korean, but you still can't
Yeah.
read it. Like, nope, I can tell what that is, but I certainly cannot read that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So as you're walking in, Kiara, you feel something just kind of like just tug on your hair. Not hard, just like a little like tug on the tail end of your long braid. You look behind you, and so we'll do a dex.
Dex. Wait, hold on. That is a 12 plus 2. That is 14.
You look behind you and you don't see anything. You're like, oh, maybe it snagged on something, but you're in the middle of
Keeping an eye out for hooks.
Yeah. And then Kaonthi, you kind of just you reach into your pocket and then you pull out like this handful of flowers. You're like, how did that get in there?
Oh.
Oh,
Do the flowers smell nice? Like,
Yeah, they can be.
can I
full
take a
of-
whiff?
Yeah, take a whiff.
Are they free?
I take a whiff of the flowers from my pocket.
They're
smell
like a wildflower sort of thing. So they don't smell like conventional sort of flowers. I didn't actually like look up wildflowers, but it's not. I can say it's not roses and it's not lavender. It's some type of wildflower.
It
Snapdragons.
smells
and
like plant.
Yeah, kind of has that like earthy scent to it.
Okay, cool. Either way, she's keeping it because they're pretty and they're nice. So.
Yeah,
We'll take this as a present.
and then Ellie, you feel like this kind of like if something at your side, like someone bent close and blew right in your ear.
I turn
Just
around.
like a little.
I turn around
Yeah.
and blow back.
Oh, make a dex. do a dex check.
Okay, come on.
And
Dex.
you hear, like-
Whoa, that's really good. That's a 19.
Oh, okay.
That's good
So
for
like
Ellie.
you turn around and blow back, and you catch this little pixie in the middle of like just in mid-flight, and she kind of like tumbles in the air.
Disrupting your flight pattern.
Yeah, and you can see like just a couple of them kind of like float out, and they've been snickering and kind of
That-
giggling as
That's
they
not Boink, right? I
No, it's not.
specifically see it as. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a little pixie, and they
Party.
Oh,
Then
sorry.
yeah, and then a couple of them come out from like the rafters or the bookshelf or from wherever they were hanging, and like 3 specifically come out and like fly up to you. They're like, wow, these people, one's purple, and they fly over to Kiara and look at her and like kind of like they like touch her hair and they're like, oh, she has shiny stones, and they go and like touch her like little emblem like focus stones. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And then they go over to Luna. They're like, oh wow, she's so tall, and they're like, she's so shiny. They're like, oh, that's iron. Nope. Oh, that has iron in it. And they're like, nope. And
It's technically steel, but depends on the
iron
lore.
in it. Pretty sure it has at least some iron in it. I don't know exactly.
Yeah. Steel is just iron with a little bit of carbon. So yeah, like I said, depends on the lore.
Yeah. So they can sense that there's iron in it. So they're like, but like you can tell by like the way they kind of look at you that they're curious about you. And one's like, why are you so tall? How'd that happen?
Because my dad is tall and my mom is tall.
And they look at each other. I told you. And then so the third one goes over to Kayonde and is like, you're boring. You're not green or purple or tall.
Aww.
I love how she's like an inch shorter than me. But she's not tall.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
it sounds
Well,
okay.
Kathy doesn't really know what to say. She's just gonna be like, oh. And then make that, like, what the heck face.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say. Sorry, I guess. I don't know.
She can do the splits.
Yeah, I
I
go
mean,
up
so
to
can I, but she
Keontae.
can do it better.
I go up to Keontae and I'm like, I think you're neat.
Thank you,
She's
Ellie.
the sickest one of all of us, so
So there's one with like pink skin, and it says, what is a split?
Oh, should I show them?
Yeah, go for
Is
it.
there
Yeah,
space?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, you
monk
can
stuff,
just
monk
like,
stuff.
I mean, he has rafters. You can position yourself in the rafters if you want to.
Just
like,
John
up on-
Claude
up on
Van
ceiling?
Damme. Oh my god.
Yeah, like in the
Oh, hey,
ceiling, yeah.
let's do it. All right, she's gonna try it. Let's do maybe like a,
Yeah,
Is
do
there,
like
like,
acrobatics check.
jump? Is there like
for
a
the
jump
flavor.
involved there too?
Yep. Acrobatics up there.
Oh gosh.
You
You just
do
say
it.
I was already good at this stuff. I don't need to do that.
Would
Sorry.
you
I
get
mean, if you're just doing it
Oh,
all
I rolled a
easier.
15 total, whatever.
Okay,
15
yeah,
total.
no, it's fine. You're just like,
Okay, cool.
you're like,
Monk stuff.
I can do monk stuff. You're like, well, excuse me, and then you just casually like wall run and then like backflip into a splits, and they're like, oh.
And somehow I hold the position, maybe. Like you said, there was rafters, right? Like I landed.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
back. We'll say you like backflip, and then while you're like in midair, upside down, you like splay into the splits and just catch yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do
for
the-
flavor, you yawn
doing
a
the
little
John
bit. It's
God.
like, oh, she can do that.
Just be like this. She's showing off to these little pixies, and I'm like, why am I doing this again?
Then they clap. They're like, ooh.
Do it again.
Yeah, pretty much. You're like, do it again. Can you do it from this rafter and that one? How tall can you go? How high can you go?
Well, the thing is, I could do quite a bit, but I believe maybe I shouldn't be doing this indoors, inside, indoors, whatever words are. I've never heard them before.
They look at you like there's no logic to that at all. It doesn't register, but they're like, okay.
This is my inside splits, not my outside splits.
My
Okay.
insane split.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kathy
exactly.
is just gonna leave the ceiling now and just get back to normal.
We'll say you just land
It's
pretty
gracefully like
nimbly.
I clap.
You write yourself, and then they're like,
Suddenly we have number cards that we raise up as like because you stick the landing. It's like 9, 9, 10.
I hand out grape leaves and I hold up a 13.
Yeah.
Yay! Oh,
I don't even know.
So what you're saying is we need to go outside, and
Oh no, we don't. No, actually, we're fine.
Wait, no, we
This
got
is a lovely home, a lovely home.
Actually, we might be looking for. We might be looking for someone. You might know him. We
Yeah.
haven't seen Arturo, right?
He
at
let
his
us in,
kitchen
right?
table, like basically
here,
drinking.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
at his
okay.
table. He let you in.
He's just watching you do
Yeah.
the splits.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
just
gotcha.
watching you do the splits and like he's drinking probably like some kind of tea or coffee or
Yeah.
something like that.
Actually,
just-
we were looking for settling down for the night.
It's morning.
The morning, whatever.
I've had a busy night. I'm tired. I would like to settle down.
I don't remember if we did our long rest or not.
You
I
did
don't
a
remember
long
a
rest,
lot.
but we can flavor it that you guys didn't do it yet if you want to spend the night here.
I just don't remember doing it.
I don't remember
Yeah.
either. I don't remember a lot of
Okay,
things.
so we'll say that you
But if this is the morning, like
are doing it
after
either.
our
Now that I
long
think
rest-
about it. Okay,
I
we'll say
remember
it's-
I did like a short rest when I was in that tree trunk.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
was a
Okay.
long
I
night
thought-
for us. We've got
Yeah.
vampires, we've got fires,
Yeah.
we've
Got a lot
got
of
evil
vibes.
brothers, and
I
then
have a
we
box on me
crossed
now.
into the Feywild.
I fell into a stink flower that makes me ill, but I did well enough with my con save that it worked, and then, you know, thankfully we found the one to clean me off. Ellie definitely helped.
Mhm.
we'll say that you guys have that Boink led you to Arturo's house. You got there. Oh, that's what happened. It's because you ran through the night. It's now morning. Okay, I get it. That's why.
Okay.
So you haven't rested.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so
No.
we're still like
It's been
exhausted.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's been a long night.
And
Oh.
if any of them say it's day, what did we say?
It's like,
What did we say?
I know it's daytime, but can we sleep?
Arturo, he's just been watching you this whole time. You're used to him being more like presentable, but
Mhm.
it's like catching a night person in the morning, and so he's still pretty like out of it and quiet.
So just Tiffany. No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding.
He still.
Just me.
Oh. He
No,
still
I'm
has his
de-
coffee.
Yeah, I'm definitely that in the morning. I won't talk to anyone. But
Oh.
he's just
That was supposed to be a joke.
Well,
It
you're
sounded like I
welcome.
was calling out my wife.
It's okay, you can tease me. You're welcome to stay here. I don't have a ton of space, but I can there's an upstairs, and he takes you upstairs. He's a little lackluster than usual. He feels decidedly human. As someone who's half Fey, his human side showing in these moments. He has long plaited coils of hair drop down his back. He's tall and fit, and has he's still like a really attractive guy. The sort of body that would make straight women turn their heads and stare. And
On that note, I lean into Kiara and I'm like, isn't he supposed to be hotter? I remember him being hotter, right?
He was quite hot. However, it's not that he's not hot. It's just that it's not quite as distracting as it were before, as we thought it would be. I mean, I'm not going to complain. I like being able to focus. I like being able to focus.
I feel like Luna's been surrounded by a lot of tall, buff men in her time. So
Yeah.
she
Not
had-
even
like this
days.
is like
Yeah.
the norm.
Mm.
And Arturo's just like, oh, it's because I used all of my magic earlier. I can show you a little bit of that trick if you like before you go to sleep. And then he opens this door to basically like a guest room. It's you'd think that someone who works directly for Queen Sabra would have like a bigger house, but he actually has a really small house. And he just has there's the floor and a couch and like a bed that could probably fit 2 people, or if you wanted to squeeze. And so he says, well, this is the guest room. And he says, I'll probably have to go to work soon, so we'll have to do our talking right now.
Right.
And he says, well, first things first, you're probably wondering about something. And then you see him kind of concentrate. And then he begins to glow with this orange sort of magic. And when he comes back, his whole body is filled with this bright orange. And then when it settles back down, that's when you see the form that Kiara and Ellie are used to, where he's like the most beautiful, attractive person that you've ever seen.
Catered to like our own vision of what is beautiful, if not
Yes.
beautifully confusing.
Yes, it is
For some of
characterized to specific people. Luna, you don't notice a change. And you're just like... And then he looks around and like, even like, you know, he's tired, but like in this form, everything he does is beautiful, and he like sips his coffee, and like there's like this hair whip and like sparkles, and he says, well, I can tell it's working on you, you, and you. And he turns to Luna and he says, but it seems that you've already found true love. So this form won't make
You
any
also
difference.
just kind of look like my dad in the morning, so.
And he's just like, he just laughs. Yeah, this is
Ellie looks like May from Turning Red. It's just like
Yeah, good expression, yeah.
And meanwhile, everything that he does is sort of cast in like that moment where like the dad is cooking and everything is ultra beautiful, so nicely lit,
Yes.
shining, sparkling. God, I'm
It was
so
a good
hungry when I
moment.
look at it. But that's
For me, okay, so for Kayanthi, I remember the first time I saw Arturo in his beautiful form, Kayanthi saw like, someone looks like a bit more like her, like the blonde hair, you know, like shiny blondness. But now the vision's kind of changed a little bit, maybe like darker hair, you know,
Okay.
maybe more of a smirking little face, you know,
Mhm.
like a certain somebody.
like a
that's
certain boy.
I don't know. It's just how she
Looks
just,
a little
she
familiar.
just remembers it being different. I was like, wait, hold on, what's happening? Anyway.
And then Nualia and Erevan are also there with you, and
Right.
like Nualia like literally starts to salivate. She's like, so are you gonna stay here? And Arturo's like, well, I do live here. She's like, yeah.
He does
So
have to go to work,
Yeah, I
probably,
bet you
though.
live here.
can I stay here? And then you see like Erevan just kind of like give her like a little like handkerchief, and he's like, sis, you got a little something. And then she's like, she just like wipes her face and then doesn't take her eyes off Arturo.
Girl, you
And
need
even-
some water? Or...
He's just
Thirsty
like,
at least.
yeah, calm down. Arturo, and then gosh, Erevan, even Erevan's like a little like hot under the collars, just like, you know, kind of like the I don't know how to feel right now.
Lots of confusion.
And so then after Arturo says, yeah, that's a bit of a family trait that I get to do, and he turns back to his like, I guess it's like true form.
Ah. As Kiara observed what he had said, like despite all the distraction, observed what he had said about so he's found true love. She's like, oh, I see. It's sort of like an effect. All right, that makes sense. Just able to think on just the brain
Now
fog is
able to
gone.
process, everyone's
now
kind of
able-
like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ellie's just
I was
like,
like, he still looks like my dad in the morning.
That's
your
what
dad
I
must
had
be
looked
handsome.
cool. I can imagine
I'm
it's very,
told.
very
That's what my mom says.
right.
Okay.
So you're going to go to work. We can stay and get a rest. However, the stay-in, how long is it going?
Yeah, would you be
Looks
able
at
to
Ellie.
get us out of the Feywild? Like, do we have to find another fairy circle to dance around?
Or do you need to like recharge for a few days, or how's this? There's more of us now.
well, your best bet in this, he kind of is like, I think he's like, I can't bring you out. The
So we have to find a Fey.
yeah, even he explains that like I as someone who's half archfey, he explains, well, first of all, I should start off by saying like archfey is more of like a general term to those within the court, but and we have our own varying skills, but mostly everyone gets their powers directly through Sabra because she reigns over this court. So you'd have to find someone with, you know what I mean? You'd have to ask you could ask Sabra. I was like, he's like, he kind of like thinks about how to describe Sabra. She's as gracious as she is vicious. So you might catch her on a good day. Otherwise, you might not.
But we can bring a gift, potentially.
Isn't she mean? She's the one that made the contract with... Because I think she would know about... not Katrina. Oh my gosh. Tarina. Thank you. Yeah, she would know about Tarina's contract. I think she divulged that with us, right?
Yeah, she told us that Queen Sabra was her patron.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Yeah, isn't she the one that forced the pact on Tarina? Told her to kidnap people? She must be mean.
He's like, well, she certainly has her mean moments, but Tarina did come to us seeking our help.
Oh, I guess.
And Sabra has her own ideas on how to have people prove themselves. It's just like, I mean, it's really... She's more whimsical than evil. He's like, he had Tarina kidnap people. He had another one. She had another warlock collect hummus for her. And now she really likes hummus.
It's a luck of the draw type thing.
Yeah, depends on her mood.
Alright.
I caught the reference.
Thank you. I was gonna lean into that. However, we might be able to... There is my mother. However, that's also complicated because you'd need to bring her out of jail. Because, like, I talked to Elendriel and Kara earlier about her incarceration. And, if you were to bring her out, she would be able to exit all of us out. And I myself would go with her. But, we'd probably... Yeah, he's like... Because, at that point, well, we'd probably need to flee the court. We're gonna
probably put you in a bit of a hot spot, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, that is my ultimate goal. He's just like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't love working for her. She keeps my mother in jail out of spite. And he's just like, and anything boring I wind up doing. So he's like, he pulls up like this, like there's a desk over there, and he says, see this desk? And then like he pulls out like basically just this stack of papers, and it's like filed as like tax forms. And then like, tax forms. It was like, anything like remotely boring, like applications to a court hearing. I was like, I can't, anything that's so.
Jury duty, black
yeah,
tail, jury duty.
Yeah, he's like,
I love that scene.
Anything that needs to be recorded, I wind up doing, and I'm also a bit of a middle manager for all of her warlocks. So he's just like, it's not great, but it is very monotonous. And
I mean, it sounds like the hardest thing out of those options would be to break your mother, but that would free you from your contract with Sabra, right?
A bonus action, I mean a bonus gift or boon from that would be that if we free my mother, we would be able to she had contacts in the Spring Court. So she could potentially get you to the Spring Court, which has been closed off for at least 20 years now.
And like my ears...
Well, about 20.
My ears dip a little bit, so I can see my people?
Yeah, you'll be able to meet the Spring Eldrin.
Wow.
I mean, I know this is a hard path, but we've done impossible things before.
how would we free her? Would this be like a intense heist, or would this be like making a deal with Sabra?
But I honestly imagine a heist would be more effective. Because if you try to make a deal with Sabra, she'll just talk circles around you.
Yeah. Alright, so the basic questions. Where is the prison? What is the prison guarded by? Do we need magic unlockies? Do we need someone who just unlock, looks around for the rogue, does little indication pointing?
Leia just gives you this thumbs up, like, yeah.
Is it like a...
Is it more force? Is it more stealth? What are we looking at? And
it's like, well, let's
expect in return.
And
like,
he points over to this window, and he opens it, and then birds like fly away from the window. And you see this, basically like this grandiose, beautiful palace in the distance, that is basically encompassed. It's not encompassed, but like it's a palace that's actually like set into this giant tree that's a like white cherry tree with like pink blossoms, and it's huge. Like it's like, I mean, you know how big, if you've ever been to Disney World and you see the Tree of Life, like, you're like, whoa, that's a big tree. Which is 145 feet tall. I looked it up. It's an altered oil rig. Anyway.
Well, there we go.
So it's, he says, well, if you go in the direction of the giant tree, then you'll get to the palace. Inside it, he's like, I don't know too much about the security detail, since most of my work actually has me outside of the palace, except for special occasions. Usually she has me running around checking in on the warlocks. But I do know that there is a palace guard, and the dungeons are, I mean, it's a Fey dungeon, so she's likely going to be in the underground dungeon.
Do you know?
It's probably going to be trapped, or something crazy is going to be there.
Do you know if the dungeons are made of stone, or? I mean, I assume so, because it's underground.
I don't know, but you'd think so. We do have some pretty interesting ideas when it comes to architecture, because a lot of the palace is just like plants that have been coerced into certain shapes rather than cut, so we can
like the Bosmer.
Yeah, like they can they can basically sing to the plants and manipulate them to like form stairs or like shelves or whatever they need, and so everything's just this kind of like organic experience. And he's like, we do have masons though. Most of the time they're from the other side though, because I mean, Faye can't be bothered with that, let's be honest. He's just kind of like, he like points to the pixies who like are super ADD and just are like, what? And they're like, what's that? Oh, also Ellie.
Part of my brain is like in a fairy knot at this point.
Yeah. The pixies are aware of your spirit friends, and you see them sort of just kind of play with them. You also notice that in general there's lots of like spirits here. It's just a light flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're excited. Your spirit friends seem to really like it here. Almost like
they belong here.
Yeah, like they belong here. They like it here. Even like who's the shy one? Is it Pip, or is it Ziver? Or who's it? You have a shy one. Even the shy one who usually just
Ziver.
Yeah, Ziver. Yeah, usually Ziver is just hiding in things, but even that one's about kind of flying around. So you're conversing, and suddenly there's a knock at the door.
It's Sipo, that's right. Oh, that's
Sipo. I always forget.
Everyone hide.
So there's a knock at the door, and then Arturo says, excuse me, and then he looks kind of confused and goes down the winding staircase of his like it's a round house, by the way. I didn't mention that, but it's round, so like the staircase kind of like curves the edge, and he goes down, and small enough house that you can hear his conversation. So you hear the door open, and then there's a delivery. Oh, thank you. No, it's not for you. It's for them. Directly from the queen.
Amazon Prime is getting really good.
We're really good at this, yeah.
We weren't here for that long, were we?
And
that big of a
I've
spider.
been here a bit longer.
Yeah, you aren't that big.
so
of a spider.
there's this like whoosh of basically like sound, and then you see this little tiny humanoid creatures like zoom up the stairs, and he's this kind of like zippy little guy, like he can't hold still, and then he like pulls out this wine bottle and he says, "For you, from the queen, happy days," and he like leaves just as fast.
Who does he give the wine bottle to?
He just he'd give it to Ellie. Give it to you.
Okay.
One who's not old enough to drink.
Yeah.
Yep. Who's
Hey, you don't know what the drinking age is here.
In favor.
Could be like Europe. You're tall enough to see what
surprisingly
can.
can
You're tall
hold
enough
her-
for a drink.
Who can surprisingly hold her liquor. I look at the bottle.
That's true. There's a note. So the bottle is a golden yellow glass with a wax seal of her court. It's I didn't make up what her seal looks like, but we'll say it's like some autumn leaves and like a harp. And it says, "Welcome to the Feywilds. I'm sure to be a gracious host. Eat, drink, be merry. Arturo has boring stuff to do, so leave him be. But I have plenty of things in mind to entertain you. Yours truly, Queen Sabra."
Oh boy.
She seems
No
on top of
hummus?
it. Did you tell her we were here?
He's like, "No, she just knows."
Can't help but feel a little worried about this.
She then stares like at him, and then just keeps staring, like, oh, she just knows things, does she? And then just is like, oh,
He just keeps the stare, like, you.
because she's like, oh, could she be knowing any of the thoughts that any of the comfort?
Well,
you know what?
she has. Let me put it this way: she has a lot of eyes and ears. This is her realm, and pretty much everything's connected to her.
Well, we kind of lost the element of surprise. But
Well, I don't think she thinks you're gonna spring anyone out of jail, but she does know you're here.
Well.
I
And
mean,
Kiara sort of just seems to like get used to the idea, like, oh, I see, it's like being home. Got it.
I mean, my spirit friends have been helping me learn some magic that might be helpful. Like, I can help locate creatures or use some magic to make us more stealthy.
I'd be careful about using magic here, though. I've had some weird experiences with it.
Yes. If you, Well, I mean, he looks at Ellie for a second, and then he says, "Ellie, I've been wondering something." And then there's like this moment where like there's kind of this like it looks like this just ripple of like subtle magic goes through him, and he is kind of blanks and says, never mind, I forgot what I was gonna ask." Well, anyway, just if you use magic here, it will most likely cause a magic surge, which is just how things are.
Can I make some sort of like insight check or perception check to figure out what type of magic was like coming out of him, or?
Check.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Arcana.
Arcana. Oh boy.
I realized it might actually be Arcana, but I hate that. I'm like, Arcana? Because it's arcane, so shouldn't it be Arcana? And I'm like, ugh.
Arcana. It's like
Arcana sounds better
potato
to
and
me.
potato. I rolled
Arcana.
a
Arcana, not Arcana.
Arcana, not Arcanta. Ha ha.
Arcana banana, let's do it.
Nevada.
Arcana,
Hey,
can.
Macarena.
I rolled a
God.
15.
Okay. You you realize that it wasn't his magic that did that. Because it's not like you've seen him do magic and you've seen what his looks like, and it wasn't his magic.
I think Sabra still has hold of you here even when she's not around. 'Cause I think something altered your thought, or I saw something.
Then he
Either a spell or condition.
you realize again that he says, well,
I'm gonna try something.
try something again.
So I point my staff roughly like towards him, and I was like about to ask my spirit friends for help. I'm like, do you wanna wait? Let me try this, and I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic.
Cast dispel magic.
On Arturo.
Yeah, you cast it on him, and you. That's kind of an interesting thing. It's like there's this. So you concentrate on like what spell you want to try to dispel on him. But it's like you know that the spell like went through Arturo and it worked.
Okay.
But he kind of looks at you and he says, "I don't feel any different." Is that how it works?
I mean, I felt it working, but you don't feel any different?
He says, "No." He's like, "Are you sure it wasn't you?"
I don't know. Was it me? And I just look at my hands. I look at my
You
staff.
do have a
I look at
strange
Arturo.
effect on. He's just like, you do have sort of a strange effect to you.
Besides me being green, and I look at myself. I'm still green.
Well, you're not strange, and he's just like, no, it's just. Whenever I try to think about. And he, like, stops and, like, you see the magic kind of, like, flash through him again. He says, what were we talking? And
Explaining.
This time, Elliot, you see the magic that flashes through him is, like, it's green. It looks like yours.
Are you turning into me?
It's
Or
like,
am I
I hope
turning-
not. I rather like myself.
Maybe I'm turning into you. You know.
Oh, well, there's too much of me already. Make a history check.
This is gonna go well. Nope. That's a 2.
You
What?
You have no idea. You're like, that's weird. Moving on. Well, regardless, we need to talk about a few things before you go out. Because Feywilds are dangerous. And he says, that wine, don't drink it. It's not poisoned, I can assure you that. She's not
But
super
it's
nine.
Fey food.
But yes, it's Fey food. It'll be a lot more difficult to leave if you partake of Fey food.
Let's just leave it up somewhere nice so we can admire it.
And then he takes it. He says, "Sure, we'll just I can add it to my collection if you."
Kiara understands the concept of Fey food. Like, she understands it'll make it harder to leave, but she understands the concept as to why.
Make an Arcana check.
She knows Sylvan, but I don't know that she knows much. That's a 14.
You're like,
No.
that's.
I'm
I
no
mean,
hero.
there's not like the drow specifically don't really cover Fae. They don't have a lot of interactions with them.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're just like, huh.
All right. I'll
okay.
take it. I'll take your word
take
for it.
And so, but if a fae or a fairy offers you something, take it. You don't have to eat it. They just want you to take it. I was like, it's better to take it and be gracious than to say no, because then they might be offended that you didn't take it.
Does that go the other way around then? You just give them anything, they'll just have to take it?
No, it doesn't. It's just like, no.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, oh, just wondering. I don't know the rules.
But
here.
generally, they will take it because they're curious as to what it is.
Oh.
But yeah, usually they're curious by nature. And then he kind of like pulls up this I don't know. I guess he'd pull up like a button or something, like a shiny button from the table, and he says, "Flora, come take this." And then you see the like when the pixies come up, and she's like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then she picks it up. She's like, "Oh, it's so shiny." And she's like, "I can." And then she like puts it on her head, and she's like, "I can cat." And then the other one comes up, and he's like, "Nah, we can throw it." And he takes it and like flings it. It's a disc. And then they go and just kind of like fly with it and toss it around.
Going a little hand in with it.
Yeah.
Love that.
I was like, we generally just want to have fun. The worst thing to be is boring. That's something we say amongst the Fae. And the last thing is, be careful at night. Because the Shadowfell will creep in. He's like, I can't really explain exactly how that works. I don't know how.
What's the Shadowfell? Is that like
Well,
Feywild?
like, yes, it's a sister realm to this one. You, just like you cast a shadow on the floor, so too does the Feywild. And if you're not careful, it can consume you. So watch yourself at night and don't fall into the shadows. Keep a light out.
Is that something where it helps to like stay indoors or in a tent?
Yes, I think it does, because then the light pushes it away, and you kind of encapsulate it in an area, and typically you're fine.
Alright.
Just one of those subtle things that you can forget about. Especially since the allure of the Feywild can be very enchanting.
I sink into my shoulders and slowly lift up my staff and then tap it and cast dancing lights. So now my spirit friends that have been hanging out with like the pixies just immediately light up as Arturo tells us this story about being afraid of shadows.
Yeah. It takes them like a half second before they're like, "Oh, spell," and then they kind of light up. Then, well, do you have any other questions?
Well, I suppose since Queen Sabra knows that we're here, we're still going to see if we could pay a visit to your mother. Is that the plan for tomorrow? Or
Yeah,
are we
I
just
guess-
trying to get out?
Just a few days to get there on foot.
Hmm.
I was like, I would teleport you myself, but I can only teleport myself.
Well, I guess we have to
Fair enough.
decide on what we want to do, because it's either ask Sabra for help or breaking Arturo's mom out of prison.
This is true.
Well, maybe we can think on it and decide in the morning after we've... Well,
Yeah.
decide in the evening, I suppose.
We might actually want to decide
After-
in the
after
morning. Well,
nap?
maybe in the evening, but we probably want to not head out in the evening,
True.
Oh, right, yeah.
given the shadow situation. I do
Shadows.
still have my really big tent. It's a 3-person, but we can squeeze a 4th one in. I think.
See how it's turns too.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you see Arturo's chest glows for a bit, and you see him. He like actually just like unbuttons his shirt, and Nualia kind of just like leans forward, and then you see him like kind of like turn away a little bit, and she's like, "What? You shy now?" And he's just like, "Yeah, a little now." And
A little now.
I mean, yeah, a little now. And she kind of just like leans with him, and then he's just like,
I kind of like put my hand around her, like, there, hug.
Let the man breathe.
we all have that friend. He pulls out this rock, and then starts. You see him start talking to it, and Arturo says, "Oh, hello, Your Majesty." And you hear almost like this kind of like buzz or like tinkle on responding back to him, and he's like, "Oh well, I did party really hard last night, and I crossed over some friends. I'm so glad you sent us that wine." And she's just tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. "Oh well, I can't really hold my liquor for anything, but your wine's to die for." And he kind of schmoozes her for a bit. Of course I gave them directions to the palace, and then, well, unless you want them to get lost. Oh yes, I'll be checking in. Yes, Yes, Queen. Goodbye. Yes, Queen.
Yes, Queen.
Yes, Queen. Yes, Slay.
And you do. So he grabs some of his papers, and you see him kind of like straighten his tunic, and he says, "Well, I must be off to work." And then he looks at Ellie and Kiara, and he says, "Just want to remind you that you made a promise." And then he goes, and then you see him like turn orange and kind of like disperse into this like poof of orange sparkles, basically. And they kind of like flutter back down as leaves, and then eventually just disappear.
Oh. I thought he just disappears.
He disappears
into a
and then the
gong.
sound happens.
Boom.
I don't know if the gong happened. I'm not sure.
That was my app. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was like, what's going on?
Hello, this is Tiffany, your GM for Dungeon Damsels. We update on Wednesdays and Saturdays now at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have merchandise on our Redbubble and on links via the Linktree. We also have coffee and a Patreon if you wish to donate to us. Please like, subscribe, and comment, as we would love to hear from you. You can also find us on basically every podcast platform out there if you can't sit down and listen to a YouTube video. And if you're wondering why we don't stream, it's because my internet can't support it. But regardless, thank you for listening and watching. And remember to be kind, inclusive, and loving.